What in the world is going on with all these drones, these UFOs, all of these ships and phenomenon in the sky, not only happening over New Jersey, but all over the world now? I just want to remind some of you who heard this message that I gave, this prophetic word that I gave back in the spring of this year, right before the Hebrew New Year, that there were going to be these waves of exposure coming, something that was hidden underneath, something evil that has been hidden for a long, long time in our country. It's going to be coming to light. It's going to be coming in three waves. We've seen that in the political arena. We've seen it in the celebrity arena. We've seen it in our government. We're seeing it in the church. We're seeing these waves of exposure come in. Some of you will remember this. I also said that in these waves of exposure, there's going to be these waves of death. Not just talking about like humans dying, which it's been unprecedented death this year in a number of ways in the United States. On the horse of death, there's so much death imagery right now. The pale horse that was at the Olympics and all this kind of stuff. It is absolutely insane. But as I talked about, okay, there's going to be these three waves of death. The old dying, right? A decreation event so that the new can come forth, so that the recreation can happen. And I said that the last wave, if you guys remember this, the last wave was going to be visibly supernatural. Visibly supernatural. And what we're seeing in the skies, like visibly, every single person is seeing this. So I want to just say this, and this is my message for followers of Jesus. Of course, there's a lot of these that are drones, but if you look at some of these orbs, if you look at how some of these things move, they are definitely not drones. It's impossible for them to be drones. Now, whether this is some type of crazy, insane, advanced technology that we have, or whether this is some type of technology, some type of things that interdimensional beings can use, I can assure you what is going on is a big theater is happening in the sky, and we need to understand that the end of this is not going to end well, okay? So in these kind of things, you always want to look at who benefits. You always want to look at what is the big goal. Is somebody trying to, or is a government or something trying to get control? How are they going to use this? You know, I think most of our viewers have gotten pretty keen on those things. So this is a big theater going on in the sky. But here's my message to believers. I've already seen a couple of posts where Christians are like, well, you know, as followers of Jesus, we don't believe in aliens, so we don't have anything to worry about. And, you know, ... Okay, well, let me push back on that. And I want to ask, how are you going to respond if you see a being that you have no schema for, that you haven't recognized it on this earth? Because actually, biblically, if you have a biblical world view, God is very clear that in interdimensional beings, I'm talking about angels, other Elohim, small e, these other divine and heavenly beings, that they can take on flesh. Sometimes they take on human flesh, which is right there in the book of Hebrews. Hey, watch out. Sometimes you're entertaining what? Angels, unaware. These are beings from the other realm that have taken on flesh. However, we have to remember, if you see descriptions of these beings in the heavenly realm, man, a lot of them don't look anything like humans. A lot of them look like monsters. In a sense, with how they have, you know, the different serpentine, bull's head, you know, all these different features. They would be something that we absolutely don't recognize. But what I'm saying is this: what are you going to do if you're a follower of Jesus and you see a being that looks just like an alien, right? If you don't understand that interdimensional beings have the ability to take on flesh, any type of physical flesh, all these things, shapeshifters, all that kind of stuff, it's right. It's in the scriptures. That's what's so interesting about all of these things. Many of these things are beings from the other realm. They're coming into this realm, which they have access to. That's another thing that we can get into at another time. And they're taking on flesh. Sometimes they look like humans. Sometimes they don't. I think they could look like just about whatever they want to look like, including monsters. But I can tell you this, at some point, as the veil is thinning, they're all coming. And we'll take a look at a future post where actually something right out of the New Testament refers to monsters that will be here in the last days. But don't be alarmed. We should have understood these things all along, because that's what a biblical worldview does. Biblical worldview understands interdimensional beings can take on flesh. Some can be good and some can be bad. The ones that are bad, they're here to deceive. So get your discernment up and stay loyal to Jesus. God bless.